The Six of Swords is about moving on from your past. Please join me and learn how to interpret this card when it shows up in a reading. Hi everybody, I'm Sue Ellen Clayton. Welcome to my channel where we'll be learning the tarot deck one card at a time. Today's video is about the Six of Swords. This video will begin with a short description of the card. Next, I'll briefly explain what the card means when it appears in a reading. Then we'll talk about what each element symbolizes and what the card means when it shows up in both the upright and reversed position in a reading. I'll share some examples from my life so you can relate to the card in a real-world situation. And stay tuned until the end and I'll give you several questions to help you connect with the card. I will be using the Rider-Waite Tarot in this video. You'll find the link to the deck below, as well as to the many books that I've used in my research. So let's get started. In the Six of Swords, we see a male ferryman using a black pole to steer an orange boat to a distant shoreline. He is wearing an orange tunic with blue sleeves, green tights, a black belt, and red boots. In the boat, we see two passengers, a child dressed in blue and a shrouded person dressed in orange, who we assume is the mother. All three figures have their backs to us. In front of the figures, we see 6 blue and white swords pointing downward in the boat. The right side of the water is choppy and the left side of the water is calm. Along the left shore, we see hills and trees. The sky is gray. When the Six of Swords appears in a reading, it means that you are moving on. You are leaving your troubles behind and you are starting over. That you have accepted the reality of your past, no matter how difficult, and are ready to start something new. That tough, turbulent times are in the past and you're moving to calmer waters. That you are just keeping your head above water. You've been experiencing a low level of depression but are moving forward to a more positive frame of mind. Note that the woman and child don't appear to have any luggage, so you are leaving unnecessary baggage behind you. It might mean that you are refusing to look at your problems, so they will be with you despite moving to a different location. That you need someone to help you with the transition, which in this case is the ferryman. It could mean that you are moving to a new location. This card can represent that you live close to water or are making some kind of trip or journey across water. Finally, it can represent a mental journey. Let's talk about the symbolism in the Six of Swords. In this card, we see a male ferryman steering an orange boat. The boat is called a punt. These are flat-bottom boats with a square-cut bow designed for use in small rivers and shallow water. The boat represents our journey through life. The color orange represents harmony and balance, which is one theme of this card. It's interesting to note that the punt was the kind of boat used to carry souls across the river Styx to the afterlife. The woman is obviously still alive, but it makes us wonder if she feels dead, perhaps because she is in physical or emotional pain. The ferryman is steering with a black pole, which represents the unknown. The ferryman is wearing an orange tunic with blue sleeves, green tights, and red boots. His orange tunic is a blend between red, which represents passion and action, and yellow, which is about clarity and protection. Note that the boat is the same color as his tunic and also represents action, passion, clarity, and protection. The blue sleeves and green tights represent growth and expansion. They show that he is moving forward. His black belt represents stability. His clothes are very practical, and we can see that he is the one doing all the work. In addition to the ferryman, the boat has 2 passengers, a child and a shrouded person who we assume is the mother. The ferryman would have been paid for his services, so he isn't emotionally invested in the journey. He is doing all the work and represents a masculine, action-oriented energy. The woman is looking inward and represents the feminine, intuitive energy. Between the ferryman and the woman, the energy is balanced. Some people believe that the child represents our inner child. So between the three figures, we have masculine, feminine, and childish energy represented. All three figures have their backs to us, which indicates that they are leaving the past behind. It can also indicate that you are turning your back on yourself. In front of the figures, we see 6 blue and white swords pointing downward in the boat. Most of the sword is a cold blue color, which represents that it is about cold, unyielding facts. The white portion of the sword represents purity and purification. The fact that the swords are pointing downward means that the issues they represent are no longer actively hurting you. However, the pain is not completely resolved. Pam Richards, in her book Understanding Tarot, describes the groupings of the swords. In front of the shrouded woman is the ace, which shows she is clear about the reality of her situation. On the left, which is the emotional side, we see the 2 of swords. This shows indecision and that the choice was made to force this escape and bring welcome relief. The sword in the center, along with the 3 to the right, represent the 4 of swords. The 4 of swords is a card about rest and renewal, which suggests her need to heal her emotions and recover from the choppy state of mind. The woman is wearing a dull orange cloak. This shows a lack of energy. The fact that her head is covered and downward indicates that she is lost in thoughts. Her feet are touching the swords, and if she looks up, she will be reminded of her problems. The child is dressed in gray. He is sitting very close to his mother, but she is not giving him any attention. Gray is the color of uncertainty, thought, and contemplation. If this figure represents your inner child, you are not giving them any love or attention. The distant shore that contains hills and trees is the same color as the water, which indicates that they will still face difficult emotions once they reach the other side. The right side of the water is choppy, which indicates unsettled emotions and that they are leaving difficult times behind them. On the left side of the boat, the water is calm, meaning that you will have a more peaceful future. The boat, located in between the choppy and the still waters, signals a break from the difficult emotions. The sky is gray and is the color of uncertainty, thought, and contemplation. This is not a sunny sky, so we know that their future will still be difficult. When the 6 of Swords appears in an upright position, it can mean that you are depressed, that you are keeping your pain to yourself, that you are distancing yourself from the past, that you are moving on to a new phase of your life and leaving your difficulties behind you, that you are escaping danger, that you are enjoying a period of peace and harmony following a difficult situation. It can mean a journey, travel, or a change of scenery, or literally moving to a new location. Finally, the 6 of Swords can mean that you are carrying your pain into the future. Here's an example from my life about carrying your pain into the future. This is a story about plastic surgery. I have never had plastic surgery, but I worked as a writer for plastic surgeons for several years. First, let me say that I am not against plastic surgery. I think that plastic surgeons are amazing, and I'm all for anything that makes people feel better about themselves. However, I noticed that some women blame something physical for what was wrong in their lives. For example, since I wrote a lot about breast augmentation, it was about women who felt their breasts were too small. They believed that surgery would improve their relationship with their partner or make them feel more confident. And sometimes it did. But for other women with deeper issues, the surgery did nothing to improve their lives. They were still alone and depressed. Or they moved the goalpost and decided the problem was that their implants weren't big enough, so they'd have another surgery and keep repeating the process. Like the swords in the boat that stayed with them on their journey, their unhappiness was about deeper issues, yet they weren't willing to look at what the problem really was. When the Six of Swords appears in a reversed position, it can signify that you feel stuck. You can't leave a difficult situation or move on from your past. That you feel powerless and don't have enough energy to make a decision about your future. That you are experiencing travel delays or other difficulties with travel. It can mean that you are feeling forced to make a change, even though you don't want to. And finally, the Six of Swords can represent that you choose to fix a situation rather than running away. Here's an example of the reversed Six of Swords from my life about needing to make a change, but not wanting to. I know a couple of people who are currently searching for new jobs. One had his department eliminated, and he had no idea that he was going to be unemployed. The other is still employed, but in a difficult situation and actively searching for a new position. Both of them have been actively job hunting for more than 9 months and are extremely discouraged. I think that is the energy of the Six of Swords reversed. You feel stuck. You're being forced to make a change that you don't want to. And despite your efforts, you feel like you're getting nowhere. Here are some questions to help you connect with the Six of Swords. Number 1, do you feel like it's time to leave some piece of your past behind and move on to something new? Number 2, if you could start over, what would you do? Number 3, is there someone who could help you with this transition? Number 4, have you ever felt like the ferryman, that you're doing all the work for people who don't really want to change? Number 5, are there issues that you aren't willing to face? Number 6, is there an area in your life where you have turned your back on yourself or your inner child? Number 7, is there a place that you'd like to travel to or move to? And finally, number 8, what is keeping you stuck? So I hope this video has given you a good idea into the Six of Swords. Please join me for the next video, which is the Seven of Swords.